You ever sit down to do something like, say, I don't know, write a script for a YouTube video, and then suddenly you remember you need to reorganize your entire closet, or check the weather in Norway, or spiral about an embarrassing moment from 2014. No? Just me? Okay. Today, we're continuing our deep dive into the 55 codependent patterns because, wow, if you're new here, there's a lot to fucking unpack. And trust me, these next 5, they hit hard, so bob and weave. Pattern number 1, difficulty getting started, meeting deadlines, and completing projects. Ah, yes. The classic struggle of having a million ideas, but somehow not a fucking thing to show for it. If you've ever felt like you just can't start things, or when you do, it's a whole battle to finish, well, welcome to the club, my friend. And the reasons behind this? Oh, baby, we got layers. Is that a book? I used to think my perfectionism was a flex. Like, I just want everything to be done right. Turns out that was just a fancy way of saying I'm paralyzed by fear and refuse to start unless I can guarantee I won't suck at it. Growing up, I had to be perfect. Not because my parents explicitly told me that, but because I thought perfection was the only way to control how people saw me. If I was perfect, I wouldn't get in trouble. If I was perfect, I wouldn't get rejected. If I was perfect, maybe I'd finally feel good enough. Spoiler alert, that's not how it fucking works. But I didn't know that, so instead of risking imperfection, I just wouldn't start things at all. Made life super interesting. If I never finish, then I never have to deal with the possibility that what I created isn't good enough. Self-sabotage. I hardly know her. No, I know her. We go way back. Pattern number 2, trouble setting healthy priorities and boundaries. I mean, yeah, technically I have work to do, but they're upset, so my entire day is now dedicated to fixing their feelings. What? No, bud. That's not what we're doing here. Codependents tend to put everyone else's needs before their own, and I really did this. I was so wrapped up in other people's problems, my partner's struggles, my friend's drama, my mom's everything, that I didn't even realize I had completely lost myself. I will never forget the first time my therapist asked me, "What do you want?" And I just sat there like a deer in headlights. What do I want? What do I want? I had no idea because I had spent my whole life making sure everyone else was okay. My needs, not a priority. So when people ask, why do codependents have trouble setting boundaries? It's because we've been trained to believe that saying no means we're selfish, that putting ourselves first means we're abandoning others. And guess what? That's not true. But, try telling that to my inner child who was absolutely terrified of disappointing people. Good luck. Pattern number 3, extreme loyalty, staying in harmful situations for far too long. Here's to all the times I stayed in relationships, friendships, and jobs that were actively draining my soul because, well, maybe this time things will be different. If you've ever stayed way too long in a toxic situation, chances are you've been caught by the hope trap. My mother needed me to be her emotional crutch, and because that was all I knew, I carried that pattern into every single relationship I had. If they hurt me, if they made me feel less than, well, I just needed to love them harder. I used to believe that if I could survive my mom's emotional roller coasters, then I could survive anything. But just because I'm tough doesn't mean I deserve to endure bullshit. I should put that on a shirt. Codependency merch, coming soon. Pattern number 4, compromising values and integrity to avoid rejection or anger. Oh yeah, totally, I agree. You're so right. What? I didn't agree. Not even a fucking little bit. But saying what I actually thought, now that was dangerous. Growing up, I was taught to be agreeable, to avoid conflict at all costs. And because I was terrified of being rejected, I went along with so many things that didn't align to my values. Like, there was a time a coworker said, "Real men carry pocket knives." And instead of calling her out, I just laughed awkwardly and changed the subject. Not my proudest moment, but at the time, confronting her felt so much scarier than betraying myself because codependency teaches you that keeping the peace is so much more important than keeping your integrity. Turns out, another lie. Pattern number 5, putting aside their own interests to do what others want. At one point in my life, I had no hobbies. None. Zero. Because everything I did was about what other people wanted. Growing up, Every time I expressed an interest in something, someone had something shitty to say about it. So I learned to just not have interests. It wasn't until recovery that I started collecting hobbies like they were fucking Pokemon cards, just to figure out what I actually liked. I love so many things that I never gave myself permission to enjoy. And now I refuse to shrink myself to fit other people's expectations. Whew, deep breath. I know, that was a lot. If you're sitting there thinking, wow, I feel fucking personally attacked, same, but in a good way, because the truth is we can break these patterns. We can learn to set boundaries, follow through on things for ourselves, and stop letting fear run the show. Even if that means we have to gently bully ourselves into actually finishing a project once in a while. This is only 5 more of the 55 patterns, which means we are far from done. So if any of these hit home, or if you're nervously laughing because I just exposed your entire life, don't worry, we'll be back for more. It'll be fun, come back. In the meantime, I wanna hear from you. Drop a comment below and let me know what's one thing you've put off because of fear, perfectionism or people pleasing. No judgment, just solidarity. I wanna talk about it. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ding dong that bell so you don't miss the next round of, wow, I do that too moments. And if you actually finish that thing that you've been procrastinating on after watching this video, I expect an update and I'll be waiting. Until I see you guys next time, be well, friends.